Okay. According to this thing, we should be live right now. Okay, sorry I was a little bit late. It's been a crazy day. It's been an amazingly hectic day. And I see lots of folks in here that I want to say hi to. Hello, Bad Ape and White Willow and Sparkster. Hello, the Killer Weezer. And Outback Stew and Josiah. John Ulrich, nice to see you. Chad Kimmel. Hello, Brandon Knight. Always nice to see Brandon in here. And Matt Rubin. So, yes, the gang's all here. The Killer Weezer. Jay Shelley, action figure expert, Gemini 605. Leah, how do you do, Leah? Arab Tumsy, I hope I'm saying that right. Isaac Wilson. Good afternoon or evening or good night, whatever time of the day it is. Hello, Nessa. Hi, Nessa. It's always nice to see you here. Hello, Painted Plastic. And Greg Blanchett and Kevin and Ann Smith. Daniel Heron. I'm going up because I missed some. Hello, Yorktown Joe. And Chromius. And Jordell Fresh Breeze. Jay Shelley. Rob Irizarry. Always nice to see Rob here. Yes, and I saw Rob Irizarry on one of the What's on Joe Minds live streams not that long ago. So appreciate you being here. Hello, Paul Murray and MCDJ ACDC, The Human Mechanism. Good to see you, sir. Yes. And I'm sorry if I missed anyone. But hi. We have a lot to talk about. Hello, Draws Walker. We have a lot to talk about. Brian Bruiser, how do you do? We have a lot to talk about. Bob's Dungeon. Hi. Since we're getting started, I guess I'll lead off with the stuff that's not fun, and then we'll get into the stuff that, well, we'll get into the stuff that's that was supposed to be fun, but turned out not to be. Hello, Mike Layton. And Jay Famous, thank you for the super chat. Target exclusive situation was mishandled. Told my son he's learning Kung Fu and we're storming Target on August 14th. Yeah, the Target fiasco. We got to talk about that, and I will get to it. I will get to it. I actually have something to drink here, and that is part of what I need to talk about. I just want to try to say hello to everyone. Zanet Torme, nice to see you there. So yes, we have news, but I also have a little bit of housekeeping that I need to take care of. Hello, GI Gary. Yeah, there, and Homdam and Paul Murray. Big Gay Dave, hello. I think I saw you in there, but if I didn't say hi, hello. Yeah, Fiasco is a good code name. What about Fubar? I like that too. Codename Fubar. And I think that'll be the code name for, yeah, that's it. It'll be the code name for the whole Target pre-order. It's Operation Fubar. But we'll get to that. I do want to address a little bit of housekeeping, and forgive me, once I start talking, I tend to not, my eyes tend to not, focus very well on the live chat, so I tend to miss things. Hello, Cobra Island. So, just a bit of housekeeping. It's been expressed to me that there are some folks that have been made uncomfortable by some political comments in the live chat. Stuff that I didn't see. I try to address that stuff when I see it, but there's a lot that I don't see because, like I said, once I start pontificating here, I have a hard time focusing and reading what's said there. But I just want to give everyone a warning that this is not a political forum. This is a free speech zone, but it's my free speech. This is entirely my forum, and while I'm not going to outright ban any political comments, I warn everybody that the rule on my channel has been, and has for a long time, has been that you're welcome here so long as you make everyone else feel as welcome as you are. If you're making others feel unwelcome, then you are equally unwelcome. Okay, so, and that particularly applies to comments regarding race, regarding sexual orientation, regarding sex. Those things will get you on very thin ice very fast. And it doesn't matter how long you've been around. It doesn't matter if you're a patron. It doesn't matter any of that. That'll get you on thin ice very quickly. So I have expressed to Byron, who is a moderator in here. You see him right there, Joe Motion Videos 82. To keep an eye out on that, because, like I said, there's a lot that rolls by here that I don't see. I really try to read this everything that you write, but once I start talking, the eyes switch over here, and then when I come back, like, stuff has scrolled by and I can't read that fast, and I'm sorry. So I will let the other admins know, and we'll try to warn people because people may make just legitimate mistakes. But thank you, Comic Tropes, for the super chat, and we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Byron, yes, Byron Tulsa. Baronessa is one of the few people who would remember that. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there for now. But I've had a friend who's recently been harassed by trolls, very unjustly, not in retaliation for any harassment that he did, but because he didn't share some particular offensive points of view, and so the trolls just come out of the woodwork, and that's not allowed here. Okay, so let's be clear about that. So that's the housekeeping I wanted to cover, and like I said, since I've been talking, I've been trying to keep an eye on the live chat on the corner of my eye, and that hasn't been working, so now I'm going to try to catch up, because moving on to I guess what's supposed to be the more fun stuff, we have G.I. Joe news to talk about. We have big G.I. Joe news to talk about. No, I'm sorry. No, one more thing. One more bit of housekeeping. If I lose, hello, SEO Toy Review. If I lose subscribers, because they disagree with my policy, or because they are affected by the policy, that is fine, because I try to cultivate a mature and respectful and intelligent audience, and I try to encourage those things within our community. And Arab, your joke there is starting to get less funny each time. Okay, so let's cut that out. And thanks for ruining my train of thought. I have no problem losing any subscriber for that reason. I won't have, decent and mature and respectful people run off of the channel in favor of hatefulness and trolls. That's no contest. I will run the trolls off first. Even if you don't think you're a troll, it doesn't matter. It matters if I think you are. So, anyway, John Funkhauser, let me be clear about something. This is, as I'll remind you, my forum, and let's remind everyone. I guess we have to have an object lesson, right? This is my forum, and I will talk about what I want to talk about. This whole thing exists at my pleasure and for my pleasure. And if anyone doesn't, Arab, I do try to catch the comments as much as I can. And so please don't be a dick. I'm just not, you know what? I am not in the mood to debate anyone. So here's what I'm going to drink. I've got some Pepsi Cola here, and we're gonna. It's very fizzy. And in addition to that, I've got the last little bit of vodka that I own. I haven't been drinking a lot, and so I haven't been buying alcohol, and so this vodka has been around for a really long time. But what I'd like to do this evening is I'd like to add a touch of the vodka here to my Pepsi, and I would like to drink to any and all subscribers that I lose due to my policy. Arab, you're welcome to watch somebody else anytime, and I will assist you with that if you continue to have issues with what happens around here. So here, let me help you. So does anybody else need any help? Because I'm happy to assist anyone to not watch this channel. Anybody else? Anybody else want any help? Anyway, so here's to everyone that I lose. And I'm hoping that the subscriber count goes down today. I'm sincerely hoping so. So here's to everyone that can't behave like an adult because apparently Mama didn't teach them how. And here's to everyone who remains because you guys get it, and we'll move on. That is not very good, but still. All right, so now would everybody like to get back to the G.I. Joe news, because that's what I'd really like to talk about. I was really hoping that it would just be a quick moment of channel housekeeping, but apparently we can't do that. So let's talk about. I mean, I know everybody wants to talk about the Target FUBAR, about Operation FUBAR at Target first, but I want to go in chronological order, because before that we had Fan First Friday, in which we learned of the Walmart exclusive 3 3/4 inch retro G.I. Joe collection, and I am using quotes because none of those things are true. I know a lot of people expected to get O-ring figures, and there were reasons to have some expectation for that. For one thing, the information that leaked specifically said 3 3/4 inch. Well, the modern figures are 4 inches, not 3 3/4. Average 4 inches. Also, it was we knew that it was going to be called the retro line, and in other retro lines that Hasbro has released, they've produced actual new issues of classic figures and vehicles. Thank you, Jay Famous. Much appreciated. And honestly, I don't come in here and lay down the law very often, but today it just needed to be done. So we'll move on, and we'll hope that everybody is cool. Hello, Toy Bounty Hunter. Yes, retro-inspired, maybe. But that's not what retro has meant in other Hasbro lines. It is true that Hasbro has lost a lot of the tooling for the O-ring figures. We know that, but I mean, even so, that doesn't mean that that some measures might not be taken. After all, if anybody recalls hello, John Carling and Sean Beckett, how do you do? If anybody recalls the Gentle Giant figures, the 12-inch figures that were based on the straight arm figure molds. Hello, G.I. Joe Espanol. So I mean, it can be done. There are things that they can do. Even having lost the tooling, they're expensive things. It's not something that they can do cheaply. But again, there was some expectation that they might have figured something out, despite having lost the original molds. And I agree, SEO Toy Review. That's one of the reasons why I think that O-ring figures in the future are unlikely. I think it is more expensive to produce. It's not just a matter of molding the plastic. You also have to source, screws and T-hooks and O-rings and, different materials. But again, despite that, those Optimus Prime reissues, thank you, Matt Rubin, for the super chat. Only 3 figures. Yeah, that's another thing. I have a theory about that. I'm getting to it. I have a theory. But even though it's more expensive probably to produce O-ring figures than modern construction figures, the Optimus Primes and the Soundwaves, those could not have been cheap. So I mean, it's not unheard of. So what I'm saying is, yeah, people may have been shooting for the moon, right? They may have been really overly optimistic about getting like classic O-ring figures, but they had hints, right? They had reasons to think that might be the case. Hello, Paul Cheek. Nice to see you. Thank you for the super chat. And he loves the O. Obviously, I'm a vintage guy, so I like O-ring figures. But I mean, people had at least some reason for thinking that might be what we would get. And obviously, that wasn't what we got. Instead, we got all modern construction figures, reissues of, I think they're all 25th anniversary figures. You're going to get a Snake Eyes, you're going to get Storm Shadow, and you're going to get Baroness. And the figures themselves are not bad. As far as modern figures go, they're fine. I mean, they're nice figures, but are they retro? I mean, they were around less than 10 years ago. So, I mean, that doesn't count as retro. The only thing retro about them is the artwork on the packaging. Now, in addition to that, you're also getting a Hiss Tank and a Awe Striker. Thank you, Matt Layton, 788. I see what you did there. I like a toast to Matt or Mike. I think I called you Matt. Mike. A toast to Mike Layton for the 788 super chat. Thank you, sir. So, yeah. So to me, a lot of collectors are already going to have these figures. Now, I think you're getting some new face sculpts, like a new face sculpt on the Baroness. You're getting some new accessories, so that's nice, I guess. And if you don't mind having a modern reissue of the Hiss Tank and the All Striker instead of the vintage, it's, I mean, those will be available. But retro, I would not call them retro. Now, a lot of people are upset, and I understand. But Hasbro should have, or could have, I'll say this, Hasbro could have very easily avoided this problem, okay? It would not have been difficult at all. If they had at any point just instead of saying 3 3/4 inch, if they had just said 4 inch, that would have given people the expectation that, oh, these are modern figures. Figures that were better matches. Yeah, Rob says they could have got figures that were better matches to the card art. They do still exist. The figures being issued are good. Yes, I agree. There is not that they're bad figures, and it's not that there's anything magical about O-rings, right? It's not, the O-ring isn't like the magic thing that makes the figure good. But we refer to O-rings because that was the construction of the vintage figures. So, yeah, but if anywhere in the leaks or in there was a bit of a promo on the previous FanForce Friday when they specifically answered a question about 3 3/4 inch figures, and they dropped a little hint that they can't say anything right now. Look, you just say 4 inch. That's it. You just say 4 inch, and everybody knows what they're getting. That's it. And I honestly, I wouldn't have called it retro either, but even if you called it retro, even if you still call it retro, but still told people to expect 4 inch figures, I think people would be a lot less disappointed. I think they would have set their expectations more realistically. And yes, John, size matters. And I think there wouldn't be nearly as much upset and disappointment right now. So those are my thoughts about that. Will I pick up the retro line? I don't plan to get any of the figures. I may get the vehicles specifically so that I can show them side by side with vintage to make sure that people see the differences, so that nobody tries to pawn off a modern vehicle claiming that it's vintage. Thank you, Rezakai. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Even though I was real mean at the beginning of this live stream, we're still doing all right. Still doing all right. The original molds are in some random Chinese factory or landfill. Basically, yeah. I mean, those molds got shipped around to licensees around the world, and I mean, they were either lost or destroyed, or just nobody kept track of them, which to me is unconscionable, because I mean, I know that they didn't think of these things as part of history at the time, but, you know, a little bit more respect would have been nice. Hello, Turd Ferguson. 3 tabs on the Hiss turret. Yeah, I just want to show all of the differences so everyone knows what to look for. That's my main concern, is that, like, I mean, they're modern vehicles, but they're, at least at first glance, they are pretty close to the vintage figure. Yeah, so that's the retro line. And despite the fact that that was sort of a disaster, this 7-day period, that was the good news. Hello, Pensive Melancholy. And I should qualify this. If you end up liking the retro line, I'm glad that they're giving you the figures. All right, I'm glad that they're getting those to you, especially if there's something in there that you really want. And if it's something that you didn't already have, because, again, they're issuing stuff that is not that old. But I'm not, like, saying anybody shouldn't buy the figures. In fact, if you like those figures, you should go buy them. I mean, yes. I mean, go. Well, don't go now, but go when they're available and get them. It's just something that I don't. Honestly, I actually think I may have those, at least some of those figures already, and so I don't need them. So yeah. Then there was today, this morning. So let me tell you a story. Yesterday evening, I was working on Cobra Convergence stuff, trying to get that going, trying to get that up to speed, and trying to catch up because I'm a little bit behind. And then I see that there's a What's on Joe Mind live stream. Thank you, Kevin, for the super chat. Hey, if you're gonna give me a super chat every time you're late, you can be late as much as you want. But thank you for the super chat. Yeah, bots. Yeah, yes, Rob, we're gonna get into it. Are you ready? Everybody, get comfortable, because we're gonna get into it. Okay. So I watched What's on Joe Mind live stream, and by the way, if you haven't, you probably should. And apparently there's some news that I missed, because there are Target exclusive classified figures. There are 4 figures, and one of the figures comes with a vehicle. There's a classified vehicle that's going to be a Target exclusive. And I find out that the pre-order is going live this morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, which is 8 o'clock where I live. The figures that are on offer, all right, they have a Beachhead, pretty decent looking Beachhead. They have a Roadblock, which to me doesn't look anything like Roadblock. But still, it's a nice figure. Actually, it's a really cool looking figure. I just don't think it's Roadblock. They have the Baroness with a motorcycle, and it's a really good looking Baroness figure. It's a nice Baroness figure. And then the last figure available is a Cobra Trooper, a classic blue shirt. Hello, thank you, Paul Creek. Just want to thank you. Found your channel 2 years ago. Literally helped me with my collection. Keep it up. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate that, and thank you for the super chat. So, the fans of the classic, the classified figures have been asking for a good army builder, and they've been asking for some kind of Cobra Trooper or Viper. People have kind of been speculating that we would get an Alley Viper, and here it is, an updated 6-inch blue shirt Cobra Trooper. And it, in my opinion, it looks pretty good. And I want the thing. Okay, so It's supposed to go live at 9 a.m. Thank you, Chad. Nice Baroness figure for, or hot Baroness figure. You know, that's a good question. And unfortunately, the photographs were not close enough to really tell if they got the, if they got the business. But they were good enough to tell that it's a nice figure with the classic black uniform. Looks like a good head sculpt, at least as far as I could tell. But for me, it was all about that Cobra Trooper. It was all about that blue shirt. SEO Toy Reviews says, I think this was just a stunt to get hype, and then they will hit retail. So that's where we have to segue into what actually happened. If you went on Target.com this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern and attempted to purchase these new Target exclusive figures. So they go live at 9. Within less than a minute, I'll say less than 30 seconds, they are all sold out. 100% they're gone. Even if you clicked on them to add them to your cart, by the time you clicked on your cart to pay for them, they were removed from your cart and already sold. They were gone. Thank you, Jay Famous. I want new O-ring figures with new molds and characters. A diaper stain named Brandon Hernandez bragged about paying scalpers and insulted people who wouldn't. Well, I don't know anything about Brandon Hernandez or, what he does in his diaper. But don't pay scalpers. These figures will be available at retail, at brick and mortar stores. And I think it was August 14th was the street date for them. So don't go pay scalpers, really. And as far as I can tell, it's only the scalpers that got them. Using bots to, instantly buy up all of the stock. So I posted on Twitter asking if anyone had actually been able to pre-order any of the Target figures. Like, was there an actual human being collector that was able to order any of them? And so far, I've only heard of one. There's one guy that said that he was able to get a roadblock. And good for that guy. He must have like superhuman speed. But at any rate, they were instantly gone. So I hope you didn't want any, because you can't get any right now. Rob says Target really needs to address the bot problem. Apparently it happens to them a lot. Yeah. Yes, and they absolutely do, because this is another thing that has irritated a lot of people. Is that, like, we just got the word that our retro line was not truly retro, and now, like, you tease us with some pretty good looking exclusive figures, and then you snatch the rug from under our feet. And I don't want to necessarily blame Hasbro for that. I think it's more of a Target problem, but it's a problem. At this point, the next time they do a pre-order, honestly, you probably shouldn't even bother. If it's going to be eventually available at the brick and mortar, you might as well wait, because the bots will snap them up and you won't even have a chance. But as for the now, I was talking. I was saying that I had a theory. I have a theory about the retro figures that are going to Walmart. My theory about the retro figures is they were kind of rushed out, and they may have been, and I think they may be placeholders. Big Gay Day says exclusives are bad no matter who they are through. Target, Walmart, Amazon, GameStop, Hasbro, Pulse. Any exclusive deal is bad. Well, I mean, I don't know. If it's reasonably available to people, I don't think I mind that much. But if it's exclusive in the sense that people who want it just can't get it unless they pay scalper prices, then I'm not a fan of that. SEO Tour Review says next Target issue will be the NECA Ninja Turtles musical mutagen tour on 7/23. Well, we'll see how that goes. But my theory is that as far as the retro figures go, there is going to be movie figures released at some point whenever the movie is actually released. And I think these retro figures they're going to grab shelf space. They're going to grab peg space that will eventually be used for the movie figures. That's my theory. I think, I mean, if you like the retro figures, then I'm glad you get them, because you have the opportunity, and it doesn't seem like you'll have a lot of competition for them. So, go get them. But they seem to be just so low effort, right? I mean, they reissued some stuff where the molds are readily available. They changed the packaging, maybe added a new face sculpt here and there, but there aren't even very many figures in the series. It's a really small series. Scalpers are buying up the retro fig. Now that I wouldn't know about, because honestly I haven't been trying to buy them. I kind of gave those a pass. But yeah, I think that they are squatters. I think they are reserving shelf space that will eventually be used by the movie figures. I could be wrong, and also I don't know anything that I'm talking about, so I likely am wrong. But otherwise, I just don't see why there was the urgency to get these retro figures out there. But anyway, keep in mind, we should still get movie figures, which hopefully will be really good. Knock on wood. The classified series, I'm warming up to it. I really wanted that Cobra Trooper. That Cobra Trooper looked pretty good. I do have Wave 1 of the classified series. And I do have a video coming out about Wave 1. It's not a detailed review of every figure, but it's an overview. So in the near future, you will get a video from moi. That's going to be an overview of that Wave 1. And there are some surprises in that series, in that Wave 1. Some good surprises, some not so good surprises. So I hope you watch that. Wave 2, I don't have any of Wave 2 yet, but Wave 2, we're still waiting on Wave 2. Nobody has Wave 2. Well, some went up on eBay, but I don't know about that. Somebody said they had the figures in hand, even though they haven't been released yet. But anyway, but we'll see about Wave 2. I don't think I'm going to get all of Wave 2. I'll be a little bit more selective. But I learned a lot by looking at Wave 1. Wave 1 was very instructive for me. Rob says, I think they intended to have the movie figures out by now. These are kind of placeholders. I think that's why they're getting so much classified right now. And that could be true. That makes sense. Even though the movie isn't out till October, they may be expecting a delay. And that's a reasonable thing to expect right now. Basically anything from here to the end of the year is uncertain. So, especially something like a movie. So, that October release date for the movie, that may not go. It'd be nice if it did, but it depends on the state of the world. Will I get the Ultimate Cobra Commander? That's the one that was going to be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I may, because it looks cool. I do kind of like it, and just because of the name of the channel, I think it would be kind of cool to have all of the Cobra Commanders. So we'll see. We'll see if we'll see how much money I have at the time. It's getting expensive to buy these things. But yeah, I mean, the classified series has been not too big right now, just really a few pieces. And that's okay. That's reasonably affordable. If they start becoming quite numerous and we start getting releases pretty quickly, then it can start to get expensive. Rob says, in good news, I think it gets Joe in people's eyes and minds before the movie. I hope so, Rob. People got to see it, though, right? People got to be able to see it to get it in their eyes and minds. So hopefully it will grab the attention of some people. Now, the classics figures, I think, are really more geared toward collectors. Well, actually, both of them, retro and the classics figures, they're both geared toward collectors. But they may grab the attention of toy collectors who are not normally G.I. Joe collectors. It may pique the interest of fans of the Black Series or Marvel Legends or some of those other 6-inch figure lines. Big Town Machine Shop sends a super chat, says, at the end of the day, at least we have G.I. Joe on the shelves again, which is always good. That is true. And that is something that I do not regret. Now, I don't think they did the classics, or I'm sorry, not classic, the retro line well, and they could have easily set people's expectations better, but seeing G.I. Joe on the pegs again after it being absent for so long, that's exciting. For me, it's a bit more exciting with the classified figures than the retro figures, but still. And Painted Plastic wants to know where his classified Tormod-esque Goog is. Keep an eye out in Wave 3. I have a good feeling. About Wave 3 that will get Tripwire. I'll cross all my fingers for you. And Mike, that's a good point. In all of this, we haven't talked yet about the video game, because that's coming too. I haven't heard anything new about it. We talked a little bit about it last week. I haven't heard anything new, but actually there are two, because they still have the War on Cobra game on your mobile device, which I played for a while, but I kind of lost interest a little bit. But there is a game out right now, but there's another one. Raymond says, with today's technology, shouldn't it be hard? It shouldn't be hard to recreate the old molds. I don't know. Maybe. I know that the old tooling, those are they're like steel. They're metal. And they have to be to like withstand the pressure that they're under, with the hot injected plastic that goes into them. So when you're creating molding for toys, especially mass-produced toys, we're talking about heavy equipment. And so something like what customizers do, and these guys that cast, custom figures, even if they do a lot of them, it's still going to be on a much smaller scale than what Hasbro would have to do, even for a fairly limited series like the Retro and the Classified. So I don't know. It might not be so easy, but I'm not an expert on that. I don't know. I know that things have been recast in the past, but that's definitely an extra expense. And for fans of O-rings, I hate to say it, but if we were going to get more O-ring figures, the so-called retro line would have been the most likely time and place to get it. And the fact that we didn't get them in the retro line makes me think that that may not be forthcoming. So I'm a vintage collector, so the stuff that I get that's modern is just kind of extra to me. I'm not heartbroken if something that's modern doesn't suit my taste, because my taste is vintage. If you were holding out for O-rings, I think that that train may have sailed. Could be wrong, but we shall see. What did SEO's toy review say? I think if they made new O-ring figures, they would retool them. New He-Man figures have different hips, but still look like the old figures. Yeah, they would definitely have to retool them somewhat. And hello, Cujo. I don't think I said hello to you. I'm glad you're here. Nice to see you, Cujo. I wouldn't mind. We've been talking about O-rings. And I've mentioned before that O-rings are not magical. That's not what makes the figure great. It's we're talking about the vintage construction. I wouldn't mind though if they replaced the old rubber plumbing O-ring with something that was more durable, that would function basically the same, but not decay quite so much over time. That would. If they're going to change something about them, that would be my preference. Maybe something in the classic construction, but the actual literal O-ring, if they could replace that with something that wouldn't dry out and rot, I think that would be cool. But function in the same way. You know what I'm saying? A titanium O-ring would. Well, it certainly wouldn't fall apart. I'll give you that. At least we still have onion rings. Thank you very much. Thank you for looking on the bright side, MCDJ ACDC. It's all right, Outback Stew. Hello to your son, and hello to you too. Carbon fiber O-ring. Let's just make everything out of carbon fiber. Replace the O-rings with onion rings. The Challenger. Yeah, see, that's it, John Carling. And by the way, thank you, John Carling, for that reference, which I get. Who else gets the reference to the Challenger O-ring? If you get the reference to the Challenger O-ring, toast yourself. Let's see. To replace O-ring, Hasbro could license out Boss Fight's barbell waist construction and keep it 3.75, keep the rest of the figure the same. Yeah, because I mean, that's what people want, is they want that articulation, that figure construction, but maybe something more durable so they don't have to worry about the O-ring snapping in a few years and they just have a bunch of loose parts. I think that would be nice. But it may be nice, but it doesn't seem like that's what they're going for. But yeah, anyway, we're getting down to the last few minutes. I'll be on it for a few minutes extra because I started a little bit late. But I do want to remind everybody that Timmer's video just went up. What did he do? Man. Holy crap. I watched the video and yet I'm still blanking on what Timmer's video. Don't tell me. Look, it's been a long day. I have been doing court stuff since early this morning, and more court stuff until I left the office late. I got here, had to set up and eat really quickly. And as soon as I'm done here, my daughter from Des Moines, Iowa, is moving back to Tulsa, and we should see her. She should be here really soon. Mila, Mila, hush. There we go. Hey, stop. Nobody out there. Hey, come here, hush. Oh yeah, the mortar defense unit. Thanks. Yeah, he did the mortar defense unit. Hey, that guy looks just like me. I'm a patron of Timmer, so I get to watch everything early. So sometimes it's several days between the time I watch it and Tuesday, which is the day it's public. So anyway, it's been a long day. It's been a contentious day. I mean, I was a little short with people at the beginning of this live stream. I had to reiterate the rules of my channel, which I don't have to do very often, but I felt it was necessary today. And so it's been a contentious day in court today, because the courtrooms aren't actually open. We're doing everything by conference call and stuff. And anything that can't be done by conference call, it just gets kicked down the road. But so yeah, it was just I had to fight and scrap a bit, is what I'm saying. I had to throw a few elbows, is what I'm saying. I had to throw down. I had to throw down on the playground with my metal lunchbox. So it's been a long day, is what I'm saying. So, my video that went up most recently, is the Cobra Ferret. I hope everybody liked it. Action Figure Expert says, hey, why did you not try to have the mail-away ferret? I don't know. Why do you think I tried not to have the mail-away ferret? That's a weird question and an odd way to put it. Why do you try to not have the things that you don't have? Wow. Anyway. Yeah, so I basically have to work on Cobra Convergence stuff all day and all night for the next 2 weeks. So I will still do the live stream, but outside of that, a lot of you guys may not hear from me for a while. I have got a lot to do, and the time is getting away from us. So we will, we're going to be cool. There's going to be big stuff coming up, and hopefully it's good. But yeah, it's going to take up all my time, and I do have a job, and I work, and I have kids, and I have like stuff to take care of, house and whatnot. So I can't dedicate 100% of my time to video stuff, but I'm dedicating close to 100% of my free time, and we will get it done. We'll get it done. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome. But it's mostly gonna be awesome because of the people in it. Thank you, John Carling. I do my best, but I can't please everyone, so I don't try. You guys are entitled to my best. That's my best. Small Town Machine Shop, Big Town Machine Shop says, love the ferret review, the bunch of... yeah, that... Thank you. I'm glad you liked that. I wasn't sure if everybody would think that was funny, but I thought it was funny when I set it up. I thought it cracked me up. So, yeah. I don't try to please everybody. I just do the best that I can do, and anyone who feels that falls short can find somebody that they think does better. You know, you are all entitled to my best effort, but that's my best effort. Somebody else may be able to do better, and my best effort may not be perfect, but it's still my best effort. So if that's lacking, then I'm still giving you the best that I can. So we'll keep doing that every week. But I'm gonna wind it down now. It's a little bit after 8 o'clock my time. I apologize that we had to be blunt and direct a bit this evening. So we'll try to not do that next week. I try to not do that very often. That's not how I am. I don't like to do that. But sometimes I just feel that it's you gotta remind everyone of what the rules are and how the expectation is that that everyone here will behave maturely and appropriately. So anyway. I did see the comment from Pensive Melancholy. You may be here for one thing, but that doesn't mean that's what everybody's here for. And if there's anything here that you don't like, then go find somebody else. I will not change or alter the show in any way whatsoever to accommodate anyone that doesn't like any part of it. That's just not how I operate. So I will, if you leave, then cheers. I get to have another drink. So awesome. So anyway, have a good evening. I will see everybody next week. And good night. So, yeah. Bye, everybody. Good night.